The 1500s and 1600s saw the rise of two theories about political power and the state. The first of these was absolutism. Absolutism was the belief that one ruler should hold all of the power within the boundaries of a nation. The goal of an absolute monarch was to control all aspects of society, such as culture, religion, and the military. Although rulers in all these countries claimed to be absolute, in reality their power was often limited by the nobles, the church, shortages of money, and the limits of the technology of the period. The most successful absolute ruler of the period was Louis XIV, seen here. He ruled France from 1643 until 1715. Absolute monarchy was practiced with varying degrees of success in many European nations during the period from 1500 to 1800, including Spain, France, Prussia, Austria, and Russia. Often, absolute monarchs claim to rule by divine right, which is the belief that God created the institution of monarchy and that the monarch acted as God's representative on earth. According to this idea, the monarch answered only to God for his actions, not to his subjects. Disobedience to the monarch was the equivalent of going against God. In an absolute monarchy, therefore, the people had no say in the government or its decisions. Their duty was simply to obey without question. The idea of divine right monarchy was popularized by many thinkers and writers of the period. For example, the French political philosopher Jean Bodin wrote an influential work in 1576 called Six Books on the State. Many monarchs used this book to defend their growing power. In his book, Bodin states, "The first characteristic of the sovereign prince is the power to make laws, but, and this qualification is important, without the consent of superiors, equals, or inferiors." So Bodin is saying that the ruler or sovereign should be able to make all the laws without anyone else's agreement or consent. Absolute monarchy developed in the 1500s in response to the decline of feudalism and the power of the Catholic Church as a result of the Hundred Years' War, Black Death, and Protestant Reformation. These major events led to economic change, social upheaval, and brutal religious conflicts. Monarchs responded to this breakdown of society by increasing their power and authority. They promised to restore stability and order. Absolute monarchs were helped by the growth of towns and the middle class. Merchants and artisans supported monarchs because they imposed law and order, which made it easier to trade and do business. Monarchs also gave towns special rights and privileges in return for their financial support. As monarchs grew more powerful, they needed larger bureaucracies to collect taxes, raise armies, and administer their royal courts. Many of the officials who served in these bureaucracies were educated middle-class men. This helped monarchs rely less and less on the nobles to run their governments. In contrast to absolutism, constitutionalism was the belief that the power of the government should be limited by law. The government of a constitutional state could be either a monarchy or a republic, but in either case, the government was limited in its power by the law, usually in the form of a constitution or some other document. In Europe during this time, only England and the Netherlands, also known as the Dutch Republic, were constitutional states. Constitutionalism developed in places like England and the Netherlands for several reasons. First, they both had larger, wealthier, and better educated middle classes than any other areas of Europe. The middle classes in England and the Netherlands used their wealth and influence to gain a greater say in government and put limits on the powers of their leaders. Both England and the Netherlands avoided the long, bloody religious wars that affected other areas of Europe during the Reformation. These wars had allowed monarchs to gain greater power by promising to restore peace and order.